Bethel Cemetery in Coppell. There's a really interesting story behind this cemetery. At present, there are only 2 notable graves. They keep it locked up because of vandalism. I'm just going to take a look at it. Keep it locked up, which is smart. Let's go over here and go look at the historical marker.
One day old, Oda Kirby. He originally popped up as a devil worshiper, but I'm like, no, that can't be right because he's only 1 year old.
Yeah, it couldn't be. If he started worshiping when he was 1 year old, he was far more mature. 1 day old and started being devil worship.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg's gonna tell the story about this place. You've heard of Poltergeist, the movie? This is Poltergeist in real life.
So yeah, so we were online. I was online, and this cemetery popped up. So we decided to come check it out. It said originally there was a devil worshiper, or a demon or a devil worshiper that was originally buried here, but I can't find any more information on it. However, it does have an interesting history in this particular cemetery. It was established in 1853, I believe, and then it's an area where the first pioneers or settlers of this area kind of started burying their own people. I think there was a section of it that they think there was a lot of African American slaves that were buried here. I even saw a little bit of a story of a soldier who served under George Washington in the
George
American
Washington
Revolution is possibly buried in here. But so this cemetery was originally said to have had around 200 graves in it. But over the years it had become abandoned and neglected, and I think in the 1960s and 70s is when developers started developing all the area out here. Houses started being built, and at the time, because the cemetery was so old, there weren't too many people around who were really sure where the boundaries of the cemetery were. So when some of these houses here are probably built on top of the graves. So even as of today, right now, I think 1990 is when they cleaned it up and established a fence around what they believe is the remaining part of it. And I think there's supposedly a creek back here somewhere behind the houses that the cemetery originally extended to, and that's where the houses are built, and they think that's where a lot of the slaves were buried.
I wonder something about somebody using the markers for landfill or something.
Yeah. So right now, as of today, there's only 2 markers left in this cemetery, and I'm thinking maybe that one over there and this one over here. The gate's locked, so we can't get inside to go look. It is probably private property, and but all the other graves, grave sites or markers have disappeared due to vandalism. I think it does say a little bit in the history about the developers had taken the grave markers and used them as fill dirt or filling for building these houses. I think somebody that used to live around here when they first started developing this area was watching the builders and said she saw one of them dig up a skull.
Oh yeah, because they like say they didn't know where the boundary was.
Yeah, so anyway, this is Coppell, Texas. It's just north of the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. It's a very nice neighborhood, very nice area.
Mm-hmm.
just like some of these houses.
It kind of makes you wonder if these people having that, some of these homes are built on top of graves.
Yeah.
If they have any type of activity in their homes.
Yeah, like the Poltergeists movies.
The real poltergeist from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go around digging up property, build new homes, and they find market graves and stuff.
So it's an interesting history. If you want to look it up online, Google Coppell, Texas, Bethel Cemetery. It's an interesting read. And
You got some pretty interesting history. Two remaining headstones.
We can't do a whole lot with it. Like I said, we can't get into it.
We just thought the history was interesting.
Looks like a bunch of trees torn down back there.
Yeah, tore down or fell down or falling all to hell. It's gonna cost some money to fix that up.
Let's see. This is from the. Let's see. This cemetery.
This is Bethel Cemetery.
This site here was set aside for a cemetery by the Peters colonist James Parrish and his wife Eliza Jane Record Parrish in the 1850s. Travelers who crossed the Trinity River at Trinity Mills heading west frequently camped on this land. There's some young traveler in a wagon train died. He was buried on this land, and the cemetery was established. It was first called Sand Cemetery because the soil was so sandy and it was really easy to dig graves.
Wow, that'd make it easy.
The cemetery became a community graveyard for friends and neighbors, and by 1885, the name was changed to Bethel Cemetery. Anyway, some of the earliest burials in the cemetery were that of Joshua Hill, born in Pennsylvania, came to Texas in 1853. His wife, Elizabeth, was born in Ohio. They had 6 children. The youngest was a daughter named Charity Elizabeth. She was 7 months old at the time. Let's see. Some of these people that were buried here died. A lot of them died from the smallpox disease.
Oh, we had a lot of that problem.
That was running rampant around this area, I guess, back in those days. Anyway,
it's sad that all the markers are gone. They're all unmarked.
Yeah, it says right here in 1885.
It was what, 4.2 acres or something?
Yeah.
So this right here is not even maybe an acre.
There was a man named James that was buried here, and he had a son named John Howell who died the next year. Oh wait, let's see. James Howell, who was thought to have fought under General George Washington.
Oh, Uncle
in
George.
The American Revolution. Supposedly he's buried here. Not George Washington, but this guy who served under him.
Yeah, Washington not buried here. He's up there at Mount Vernon or some crap.
Anyway, there's only 2. Like I said, there's only 2 stones left in the cemetery.
It's a good look up, and if you're interested in the history of cemeteries.
One of these stones is for this young man, Ada Kirby. Oda Kirby. He only lived for 1 day.
Yeah, a 3-year-old.
And
was it Irvin Wickersham? Died in 1913. So that's about all the info we got.
There wasn't a whole lot about it, but we thought it would be interesting to come out and check it out and see exactly what was here. And this is it, right in the middle of a neighborhood. How would you like your house?
Yeah, right next door.
To be right next door to a cemetery.
Well, then again, too, it's like 4 acres, and this ain't an acre. You got 3 acres out there where they didn't move the graves.
Yep. I did read.
Don't build a swimming pool.
Yeah, don't build a swimming pool. I did read something about the neighbors around here are the ones that kind of volunteer to keep the grounds, mowed, cleaned up a little bit.
You can see they water it. They got a hose in there, and it doesn't look weathered.
No, but
you don't have a nozzle on it either.
But that's about all we know about this place.
Yep, a little history here, and we're getting ready to move on to the next one. So this is Don out,
Greg out,
and Rudy's out too. Yep, see y'all. Bye-bye.